to the next segment, which goes by the name of AI Talks. So we have here some incredible founders who are going to present some of their incredible products which are inspired by AI. And the first company coming forward is Segwise. So Segwise is an AI-powered creative analytics and generation platform which helps marketing teams decode their creative performance and generate winning ads backed by data. And let me tell you that the AI talk on Segwise is actually also going to have a live client testimonial. Segwise has got their client from Nammayatri, Mr. Ashwin Kumar, with us, and the speaker from Segwise is going to be the founder himself, Mr. Brijesh Bharadwaj. Please give it up for Brijesh and help me welcome him to this stage. Come on, everybody, make a lot of noise.
Hey everyone, this is Brijesh. I'm the co-founder of Segwise. And this is Ashwin. Ashwin was one of our first customers at Segwise. He leads performance marketing for Nammayatri. So if you've commuted in Bangalore, you already know them. What we wanted to chat about today is honestly like our sort of thoughts around what's happening in performance marketing right now, specifically around the topic of ad creatives and how insanely critical they've become to like succeeding in this universe now. This is just like some context that I wanted to set for everyone. The number of ad creatives that you need to survive at a specific amount of dollar ad spend is going up every single year. And the highest jump is expected this year. Obviously, because creative generation is sort of becoming really, really easy. So approximately last year, we needed about 500 new video ads per month to be produced to hit your targets at about $1 million of ad spend per month. And that is expected to 2x in the second half of the year, whose data we still don't have. And that will come out this quarter. So that's the context. As you see there as well, like, in fact, it feels like the creative is the biggest bottleneck right now in modern UA. And I just want to get Ashwin and sort of have a conversation about how somebody who is scaling so much in India is doing this right now. So Ashwin, just right out of the bat, like, you've been doing UA for how long, and I'm sure you've seen the transition. At what point did you sort of see this happening? Like at some point where you must have felt like, okay, the amount of time that I'm spending on targeting, bidding has sort of gone down, and then the amount of time that you're spending on ad creators is sort of jumping up.
So a bit of a background. Before running UAC ads, I was into lead generation for an edtech company and a real estate company. So my main channels were Meta. So there you had a lot of leverage on targeting, and this I'm talking in 2022, 23 times. But it later changed and everything turned to be creatives. Like you can do a lookalike and you can also do an open targeting, Advantage Plus, and you'd sometimes be surprised that the one without any, targeting constraints outperform the one, with the detailed targeting that you put and a lot of constraints that you put. And all the CPMs is also, more controlled in the one without, a lot of targeting constraints. So the major factor turned out to be, creatives, and this is something I realized way back, in 2024 when it started to happen. And UAC,
2024?
Yeah. And UAC, I started running last year only when I moved to Nammayatri. So that's a whole other, black box. So our main acquisition channel is only Google Ads, and there's not a lookalike you can upload or detailed targeting that you can put. Only thing that you can put is an audience signal, like similar apps, you target them. But again, there's not much leverage on the targeting side, right? And as a performance marketer, you then think what is your, next thing that you can use to optimize your campaigns. And then that turns out to be creative because, so in our case, we have multiple, cities. So Nammayatri is in Bangalore and Chennai, and then there's Odisha Yatri and Yatri Sati, and then Kerala Savari. So there's multiple designers working on, and what works in Bangalore won't work in Chennai, it won't work in Kerala. So you have to, see from a creative lens and, which, characteristics in a static image and video is working out. And again, we also have different products. For example, we want to push cabs to certain areas. We want to push bike taxi in Kolkata and say metro in Bangalore. So you need, again, a separate campaign and, different elements in the, graphic to, persuade the user to do that particular action. So when I joined, there was not much direction. They were acting on the console data. So, and we also didn't have an MMP. We are a little frugal on the marketing cost side. So, but I need some direction on how do I give my designer a brief on how to approach, because they've been getting a brief on do this. We need to have a bike in the image. We need to have a cab in the image on one person. But why why the placement should be on the right side, on the top side, and it should be morning, evening. The shot needs to be inside the car, outside the car. So there are a lot of variables that you can play around, to invoke a sense of, for example, if safety is one of the core features of Namayatri, I'd like to portray it in a certain way to, reassure my users, okay, this is a safe app. Let's say I've tested out that, having women in the back seat of cab ads, work out better than, say, having men. And then there are also placement, for example, on the bottom side with a certain wording like, take your first ride, work out better than install now. So these things, I was only able to track all these because of Segwise, and that's been a major lever in terms of performance marketing for me. Yeah.
Before, once you started running UAC, so just some context on UAC itself. So both Facebook and Google now have ad campaign types which are largely driven by signals. So you don't control anything in the way you target, the way you sort of bid, etc. You create a campaign and then sort of put some budget in it, and they do the rest of it. In this universe, did you see a big change that happened typically when iOS sort of did their big changes around privacy targeting being removed, IDFA went away, and sort of you didn't really have that many signals passing through? So because we felt like around that time is when a lot of push started happening towards creatives, because like you said, once you take away something from your performance marketer, they go find the next big thing that they can sort of optimize. So it was like 2024, and when Apple sort of removed IDFA and that push around ATT happened, is that when you started sort of noticing a lot more attention in orgs that you worked with for creatives?
Correct. So whenever we used to get leads from an iOS device, all the marketing attribution broke. We didn't know what happened there. It was much better for Android devices and people using Google Chrome there. So I did feel the pinch there. I mean, I'm totally in the dark on what's working, what's not. So that probably one of the reasons why the ad platforms themselves changed the algorithm to make creative the front runner rather than making targeting options and all the nitty-gritties that one can tweak around in the ad platform. I mean, majority of the optimization happens off the ad platform these days. Be it your business side, how do you optimize things, and your engagement after the install, and also the creative side. So yeah, that's one change I did notice.
Got. I think I was recently at this event called the Pocket Gamer Conference, where Meta came on stage and said almost 56% of our auctions are decided by the creative and not by targeting, not by bids. It's basically who has the better creative will end up getting that impression. And that's insane coming from the platform itself, which essentially they're saying that this is the biggest lever that you have in your hand and you need to hyper optimize.
All the account managers have been pushing for the creative diversification, and we can actually see it. It's not just the official advice. I mean, you can see it in play in real life as well. Yeah.
You talked about tracking very specific variables in your creative, right? Like for example, who is in the ad, where is the ad set? Like in your case, I remember the personas that you have in the backseat itself decide a lot of the performance as well. How did this start happening inside the company? Was there a point at which you said, hey, we need to somehow start tracking this? And was there any evidence to sort of put in that effort to start tracking these kind of granular variables and how they're sort of impacting performance?
So in our case, the metric that we track is the first ride. And we have two variants in Bangalore. I mean, a person can either book an auto or a cab. So then at a company level, the requirement came that we need to increase number of people using cabs. So our current event was just optimizing on a first ride, and that is common to both autos and cabs. So, and our creative, was also majority of the creatives just had autos. So if that's the case, and if you want to scale cabs, then you need to take an action. So I got a high-level business requirement, and then I had to, look into the depth of it on how can I, change this to, move this metric. And that's when we started to dig down on, okay, what are the variables I have at my end, and how can I drive user to do a particular action, and that is influenced by the creative. So that's how we got started.
Just last bit on how do you think this is playing out? This is one of the generations. So what Segwise helps Namayatri do is automate the tracking of these kind of variables, like for example, to the granularity of what is the person in the ad wearing, track and measure that variables impact on performance, and then automatically consume those variables and make new ads for them. This is one of the examples that we have made where clearly somebody in a more day-to-day sort of work attire starts doing a lot better. Like it can be as sort of nuanced as this. Just wanted to understand, like, how do you see this going now in the next couple of years? Nobody can do like more than 2 years, I feel, in performance marketing. What does the new age performance marketing machine look like? Like, what are the key elements that you need to put together to like have alpha in this game now?
Yeah. So as a performance marketer, it's not just pushing buttons. You need to have cultural context. So this is the Bharat taxi. Can you go back to the last slide? So this is the Bharat taxi that's been in the news, and Moving Tech, that is Namayatri's parent company, we are handling the marketing for it. So as you can see, this ad is for Delhi. So I'm not from Delhi, and Hindi is not my native language. So Segwise has given me a cultural understanding of what could possibly work, and I can validate this with my on-ground team there in Delhi, and I can get started much easier than scratching my head on, okay, how do I get started, what kind of copy to use. So it does simplify things here. And so the context setting part, if with enough data that my campaigns have been giving back to Segwise, it knows what has been working and what doesn't work. So it simplifies my thesis on my next request that I give to my designer. Now I know, okay, I need to have these 4 variables in my ad for any cost for this to work. And yeah, so Segwise has made it much more simpler in terms of execution of giving the brief. And they also have the automated asset creation. So if I don't require any changes, I can directly go live with it. And they also have an edit option which they recently created. So I can just change the copy on the go and go live. Because even though with AI designs that are happening, there is certain amount of bandwidth crunch in a startup always. So this does simplify and reduce the go live time for our campaigns.
Cool. That's pretty much it from our side. So data-backed ad creatives are what we're all about. So if you want to have a chat, we're outside in the booth. Come have a conversation. Thanks, Ashwin. Thank you so much for showing up on a Saturday afternoon.
Well, amazing presentation by Brijesh and Ashwin. It is the first time I'm seeing a live testimonial on the stage for a startup. Please give it up for Segwise and team for putting this up together brilliantly.